Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy, Brandy Boy, back at it again with another Fallout 4 Mods of the Month video. The series where I cover a whole bunch of Fallout mods that came out within a particular month. This video is going to be about the mods from August of 2022. Just like the previous month of July, August was another fantastic month for Fallout 4 modding. There was plenty of high quality releases, and I'm going to be keeping most of these in my load order for the long run. The mods range from new mutated creatures, to custom imported arms and attire, tons of new amazing weapons to play with, a new gunplay feature, a few useful utility mods, one that'll help your performance, along with a couple other miscellaneous mods. As always, the links are down below. Now let's go ahead and get into the mods. Let's start out with one of the biggest releases of August, the Fallout London Standalone releaser. It adds in a huge heap of arms and attire that were made by the Fallout London modding team. If you didn't know, there's a whole mod team working on making an entirely new game based in Fallout 4's engine. It's called Fallout London. They've been releasing some of their content periodically as mods for Fallout 4, and this mod is a compilation of all their releases thus far, plus an added bonus. Unlike their standalone releases, they have been implemented into Fallout 4 in a rather creative way. When walking past the red rocket near Sanctuary, you may catch sight of a crashing airplane overhead. If you journey over to the crash site near Architect Systems, you'll find the wreckage along with one of the surviving pilots, Nick, the fence. Just a heads up though, he speaks a weird foreign language, so you may have some trouble understanding him.
I am speaking English, wanker. Do you speak it? I'm gonna guess you're a Yank like these other punters. I'll make sure to speak slow for you.
I don't know what he's saying, but that's some pretty good voice acting, and I'm sure we'll have more high quality voice actors just like that for the full Fallout London game. But while we're waiting on that, you'll be able to buy all their imported goods from Nick the Fence. There's plenty of cool new toys to buy. In total, there's 7 new firearms, along with a couple of unique variants, 4 melee weapons, 1 new explosive, and 14 different outfits and armors to try on. Most notably, there's several sets of medieval plate armor which have been repurposed for use in the Wasteland, and that is pretty cool. Other than that, you'll also find military, police, and Royal Guard uniforms, along with a couple other unique outfits. Now the guns are my favorite part. First, there's the iconic Bren gun. The Fire Lance shotgun. The prototype EM2 rifle. The Martini Henry. The Luger P08. The Webley 1913, and even the goofy-looking Dardic. So that's quite a bit of content all packaged into one mod, and I really appreciate that it was done in an immersive way. Now I'm really looking forward to see how Fallout London turns out, but in the meantime, we've got plenty of other Fallout 4 mods to download. Next up is another huge release, Mutant Menagerie Nuclear Safari. It will greatly expand upon the bestiary for Nuka World, bringing in both new modded animals along with other creatures from the official DLCs. This mod is an add-on to the main Mutant Menagerie mod, which adds in a giant collection of mutated creatures and monsters to the Commonwealth. The Nuclear Safari add-on will unleash all those animals into the Nuka World DLC, as well as add in new creatures which are specific to the theme park. Basically, a bunch of these animals escaped from the Safari Adventure Park after the whole nuclear apocalypse ordeal, and after 200 years, they have evolved or devolved due to the radiation. You'll see animals such as elephants, giraffes, zebras, hyenas, parrots, and flamingos. But there's also mutated monsters which don't originate from the park itself. The Night Hunter is a cursed combination of a mountain lion and a rattlesnake. The pig rats follow the same concept. They're a mishmash of both a rat and a wild boar. Lastly, there's the Waste Wolves, which are giant mutated wolves that have evolved to walk on their hind legs. They'll be sure to give you plenty of nightmare fuel. In addition to all that, there's also quantum variants of several creatures. They are much stronger than their normal counterparts, and this quantum Wendigo especially will forever haunt my nightmares. Even more challenging than that are the 3 unique world bosses. They're pretty tough, so you better prepare yourself before hunting them down. And if you manage to take them down, you will be well rewarded with valuable hides and loot. All the new animals will provide unique meat, which you can use to craft some exquisite gourmet meals that provide useful buffs. This mod is awesome, and I especially love the creativity that went into making these custom creature designs. They fit perfectly into the wasteland, and they are implemented in a very immersive way. Dare I say, Mutant Menagerie is the best creature mod of all time. With all those deadly monsters, we'll surely need some powerful weapons to take care of them. The perfect weapon to take down any beast would be the PKM. It's an iconic Russian machine gun chambered in 7.62x54. It's a beautiful looking firearm, and I'm glad to say this mod does it justice. The textures and models are magnificent, and the animations and sounds are super satisfying. Even better, there's tons of attachments available for the PKM. You can deck it out with all sorts of stocks, different barrels, muzzles, sights, grips, accessories, and custom paint jobs. There's also a wide variety of different caliber conversions, from 9x54 to 7.62x51, 5.56, and for some odd reason, even 12 gauge. So all of that makes this a truly versatile machine gun. You can create some pretty neat builds or bub it up as much as you want. It's all up to you. For me, niet. Machine gun is fine. The PKM will be added into the leveled list on both enemies and traders, so you better be careful not to be caught on the receiving end. But once you do get one, you can become an unstoppable force. The PKM is devastating, and it's an absolute joy to use. It's easily one of my favorite gun mods for Fallout 4. For another awesome gun mod, we have the NZ41, also known as the Charlton rifle. This odd-looking firearm is actually an automatic modification of the Lee Enfield rifle. It's kinda cursed, but in a good way. I think the NZ41 is quite the historical spectacle to admire. This mod in particular is a port from Call of Duty Vanguard. It shares all the same models, textures, and animations, and all of it is very high quality. And just like in COD, there's a wide variety of attachments, which includes stocks, barrels, sights, accessories, the option to switch between full and semi-auto, and the magazine attachments will rechamber the caliber from 308 to 5.56 and 5mm. With all of that customization, you can truly make it look like a Frankenstein abomination, but honestly, it fits perfectly into Fallout, ironically enough, much more so than COD Vanguard. I absolutely love the crude and makeshift aesthetic. It definitely looks like something that would be found in an apocalyptic wasteland. So of course, this weapon will be injected into the leveled list, and you can find it naturally in the Commonwealth. All around, the NZ41 is an outstanding mod, and I'm not exaggerating, it is definitely one of the best gun mods for Fallout 4. Following that crude theme, we've also got the Laser Garand. It's just as it sounds. Someone took an old M1 Garand, then added a bunch of gadgets and converted it to use fusion cells. So now it shoots laser beams. Now that is pretty rad. I don't know how it works, but it looks pretty neat, and it definitely looks like something you'd find in Fallout. The Laser Garand does come with custom animations too, and of course, that iconic Garand ping. As for attachments though, there's not too much here. Just a few different sights, muzzles, some duct tape, along with receiver and magazine upgrades. That doesn't detract from the gun though. It's a great mod, and the Laser Garand serves its purpose well as a post-war battle rifle. If you'd like, you can install an optional file which replaces the Minutemen's laser musket with the Laser Garand. That way they have a much more reliable surface weapon, or you can keep it as it is and it'll spawn naturally in the world. Either way, the Laser Garand is quite a delight to operate. I really appreciate the idea of taking an old firearm and giving it new life via custom modifications. The Laser Garand mod especially is a good example of exactly that. It's a cool, creative design, and it fits perfectly into Fallout. Now for something even more lore-friendly, there's the 12.7mm SMG. It adds in that goofy-looking SMG that was in Fallout New Vegas. The best way I can explain this gun is that it's a combination of the Vector and P90, and also it shoots 50 caliber bullets. It is certainly quite an interesting design, and this mod takes the original blueprint from New Vegas and greatly expands and improves upon it in every way. The textures especially are superb. You can see every little scratch and imperfection, and to go with that are custom animations and sounds. It gets even better than that with the attachments. There's a crazy amount of customization in every category, including a bunch of handmade parts. So, you can make this gun look like the weapon of choice for a raider gang boss. But on the other hand, you can spice it up with some tactical attachments. It's a rather versatile weapon as well. You can keep it as a close-range SMG, or add on a long barrel with a scope and a heavy stock to make it a strong contender at long range. The 12.7mm SMG will be added into the leveled list, and you can find it all around the Commonwealth. It is certainly a fine addition to Fallout 4. All around, it's a high-quality SMG mod, and for all you lore nuts, it is 100% lore-friendly. And for the last weapon mod, the M32 MGL. To put it simply, it's a revolving grenade launcher, and it's awesome. With this grenade launcher, you can blast away anything with 40mm explosives. This mod in particular is a port from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, so it shares all the same models and animations, and the animations in particular are quite satisfying. There's not really any special attachments for this one besides a few different sights and a couple paint jobs. The most notable change you can make are the grenade types. There's 3 to choose from: high velocity, which explodes on impact; low velocity, which detonates after a set amount of time; and lastly, incendiary grenades, which deal extra damage over time. Unfortunately, this MGL isn't added into the leveled list. You'll have to craft it along with the grenades at the chem station. But if it were to be added into the leveled list, you would probably rage quit after being blown up 100 times over. With the MGL in your arsenal, you can deal with any mutated beast and have a blast while doing it. We don't see too many grenade launcher mods for Fallout 4, but this one is easily one of my favorites. And that wraps up all the weapon mods, but for another small add-on to affect your arsenal, you should download the Tactical Weapon Foley. It's a super simple mod that replaces all the pickup and equip sounds for weapons. It's very simple, like I said, but I really like this mod, and I'm going to be keeping it for a while. Since you're going to be hearing the equip and pickup sounds a lot, you might as well replace it with something more enjoyable to listen to. And for one more thing related to the gunplay, MW hit sounds Redux. This mod will affect how your character reacts to getting shot, just like in plenty of other shooter games. This mod in particular takes inspiration from the flinch system in Modern Warfare. So, instead of your character standing still like a statue while taking a bullet to the sternum, they will actually flinch. The screen will blur and shake when you get hit, and also play a distinct sound. So you'll know for sure when you get hit. This mod does make combat a little harder, because your vision will be impaired when getting hit. But I find that to be very immersive, and it forces you to approach combat with more caution and tactics, rather than just standing out in the open and eating bullets like a maniac. For even more additional immersion, you should try out the Lootable Cars mod. It'll allow you to loot all those old cars you see out in the Commonwealth. Most unlocked cars will be empty, but a few may have some valuable loot. The juiciest loot is in the locked cars, of course. You may find some useful valuables like jewelry or ammunition, but you probably won't be finding any crazy legendary weapons. I'd say this mod is balanced and the loot mostly makes sense. I did cover another mod similar to this one a couple months ago, but honestly, I think this one is better because it utilizes the in-game lockpicking mechanic, and the loot itself is much more useful. Following the theme of looting, we have the in-game collectible maps and displays. This mod adds in a bunch of handy maps which you can use to track down all the collectible items in Fallout 4, which includes bubbleheads and magazines. There's also maps for points of interest, such as military bases or popular retail stores, where you'll be sure to find plenty of good loot. All the maps are scattered around the Commonwealth in various locations, in locations that thematically make sense, so it's all very immersive. And you can use these maps to immersively track down all those collectibles in Fallout 4, rather than unimmersively looking them up on the wiki. And once you collect all those maps, you can display them on a board in your settlement. It makes for a nice decoration. Overall, very cool mod. And did I forget to mention that it's very immersive? Another nice convenience mod to have is the No Crafting Animations mod. It simply gets rid of that lengthy animation that plays when you use a crafting station. Now, I will say, those crafting animations are indeed very immersive, but they lock you in place, and you have to wait an extra few seconds to actually get in and out of the menu, which can be quite annoying, especially if you accidentally clicked on the crafting station. So, if you want to get rid of all that, and prefer to have convenience over immersion, then this is the mod for you. In the very same vein is the No Doors Animations mod. It deletes the opening door animation, which would normally play when you or an NPC opens a door. Again, it's cool, but you'd have to wait for the whole animation to play before going through the door, which can be annoying, especially if an NPC goes in before you. But thanks to this mod, we no longer have to worry about that. Another utility mod I like to use is the Looksmenu rotation mod. This mod will allow you to rotate your character around while in the character creation screen. By default, you couldn't, so you were stuck looking at your character head on, but this mod will unlock the rotation, so you can inspect every side of your character, and that'll help you customize your character with 50% more efficiency. And lastly, a performance mod. Shadow Boost is a neat mod that will automatically turn down your shadows to increase your performance in intensive areas, such as the infamous downtown Boston area, which is known for its horrid frame drops. One of the biggest factors that destroys your performance in Fallout 4 are the shadows. So, if you want good frames, you'd have to turn down their quality and draw distance. But of course, that means you'd always have low quality shadows. This mod provides a dynamic solution. When you have good frames, you can keep your high quality shadows, but once the mod detects that your frames are dropping, it'll turn down the shadow quality while in game, thus increasing the performance. Once you get out of the low performance area, it'll go back to normal. If you'd like, you can customize the mod yourself and set a target frame rate along with how much the shadows will be affected. For me, I personally won't be using this mod because I don't need it on my rig. I can see it being helpful to those with lower end systems that suffer from a severe case of frame drop-itis. Of course, I'd rather just have Bethesda optimize their game properly, but it's Bethesda we're talking about, so we have to rely on modders to fix their game. Anyway, that'll wrap up my favorite Fallout 4 mods from August. As always, remember to endorse the mods to show support of the mod authors, and annihilate that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next video.